Hey there, YouTube. Alright, I asked you to do some voting. I didn't have much time, so I ended up seeing, by the time I started to make this, that a lot of you wanted Alexander campaign, but I just made a whole bunch of Alexander campaign videos, and I plan on making more of those as soon as I return from my business trip on this next Wednesday or Thursday. So I wanted to go ahead and make a little more progress on this Peninsular campaign because I've let it go on too long, and I do need to get this campaign finished. So here I'm going to try and wrest the control of this province from these guerrillas who are temporarily in control. And they have some militia and some cavalry, so they have a fair bit of defense. I'm just going to go ahead and continue the siege. I would rather them attack me. I have very few men there, as my army has been whittled down over time, and is just quite weak. One thing that I haven't been doing very well is remembering that on Napoleon you can recruit troops, and then they will march to meet your army. So I should probably go ahead and recruit some line infantry to come reinforce my men. So let's see if I can find just some line infantry. Here we go. We'll recruit a couple of units of fresh line and 1 unit of light infantry to head my way. So they'll be there in a couple of turns, and that'll help reinforce that area. I have another army up here in the north. They're kind of the leading edge of my spear of attack. Let's see, it is late July, so this would be a good time to start moving around the coast, and that's going to be the best way to get to the Pyrenees, is to move up this coast. There are a few French forces in the backfield, so I'm going to need just a little bit of force there to help garrison this city that I probably just took. But my forces have, for the most part, recovered, so we do need to start marching towards French territory. So we'll go ahead and go raid this town over here. So we're going to be moving up the Mediterranean coast there. I think I just captured this city back here as well. Looks like my troops are in the process of recovering. Looks like Lyon is under my control, and I have enough troops to kind of hold the line there, should that become necessary. Let's go ahead and recruit some militia, and a lot of you may be wondering why I use so much militia. I just use it so that the French can't siege my city in one, or just march right into my city, I guess, in other words. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So let's go ahead and chase off this French army right here. They're going to stand their ground and fight. They have several units of line and an artillery piece. And let's go ahead and I will show you this fight once we get on the battle map. Alright, we are here on a messy, wet, and sloggy battle map. And I am opening fire on the French forces. This is a unit of Lightfoot, Chachier, or Chachier, however you want to say it. I'm sure I don't say it right because I do not know French. But for some reason the computer is just marching them right to their death. Can't say that I understand that strategy, but then again, when have I ever understood the computer strategy? Here's the remainder of the French forces standing just outside the range of my light infantry. So in order to bring them within range of my light infantry, I will scoot up just ever so slightly. There we go. So now these units of line infantry are within range of my skirmish units. So I'll now open fire on them. Probably won't be super effective because of the distance. I think they've only had a couple of casualties thus far. And the French have a unit of artillery, as well as myself. Here's their artillery. I've caused a couple of losses to it with my 12-pound foot. And when using non-howitzer artillery, positioning is key. So you'll notice that I positioned, let me show you once I get the camera angle right. I positioned my artillery on top of this hill with a clear shot into the French artillery or the French troops there in the valley. Now some of you have been wanting me to show like the actual cannon view. So I guess I'll show you the cannonball view since a lot of you have been asking me for this. So here they are, they've moved the cannon back forward. We can watch my little top-hatted troops here start to reload. In the background you can see my skirmishers firing away at the French troops. So this is kind of a cool battlefield view, I guess. And talk about, they're probably wearing like these wool uniforms and they're all soaking wet, so this would be absolutely miserable. So here we go, cannonball view. Hopefully this will actually hit something. Yeah, I've had people asking for this for a while. So it looks like a decent shot, but it's probably not going to do any damage. It was close, though. It was close. Good job, men. Alright, so there was the infamous cannonball view for those of you who have been asking for that. As you can see, I am causing a fair deal of damage to the French troops. Their light foot have come back into the fight and are now firing on my light infantry. That's okay. I'll go ahead and put up with this for a minute. Let my light infantry gain some experience. My cannon is causing minimal damage still to the French 6-pounder. I don't know if I have good position enough to hit these French troops with my artillery, so I'm not going to waste shots there. Alright, and I am kind of sick of letting the French live this long, so I'm going to do a brutal push forward here with my line infantry and just finish them off once and for all. But also what I want to do is turn my light infantry off fire at will and tell them to cease fire so I don't shoot my own men. So I'm going to rush my line forward here. You can already see the French starting to withdraw. One unit routing after having experienced as much fire as they did. And I'm going to take some losses doing an approach like this, but the French just really don't have enough troops to cause me any super bad damage. So here's my troops wheeling up in a close, very close musket fight, kind of reminiscent of Civil War ideas that most of us Americans have, as most of those fights took place at some pretty close range sometimes as well. Alright, so the French troops are definitely starting to be routed off the battlefield and taking heavy losses. So I am going to push my troops forward and go destroy this cannon. Now, for some reason, that unit right there formed a square. Can't say I understand that. Yeah, my cannon has yet to land any more blows to the French artillery. So I risk the taking of shrapnel fire by doing this. But if I go ahead and rush forward, I may not end up taking too terribly many losses. But I do need to tell my cannon to cease fire, as I don't wish to hit my own troops with a cannonball in the back. And it looks like the French cannon is trying to hit my men, but their cannonballs are bouncing up and off. They've positioned their cannon quite poorly here on this hill. It's kind of to the back of the hill. So my line infantry are in range, and I'm just going to let them open fire and put an end to this fight once and for all. Hopefully the French won't get any canister shot off here. Nope, they don't. So I was pretty fortunate. I'll just let my men keep firing there as the French cannons retreat. And I will see you back on the campaign. You can see that that was a pretty clear victory for me. The computer said that it was a close victory. I don't know where they'd come up with that. But those French forces are no longer a threat to my city, which is good. And my army can now push forward on into French territory. And I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the French off here. I will go ahead and start moving in two directions towards the Pyrenees, and I will leave smaller armies to deal with their cities up here in Cantabria and these other small provinces up in the north. And I will build that army in this city here. So let's go ahead and recruit that army. Get another couple of units training up here. Go ahead and just leave that one off. That should be enough. Alright, so things are going well, it looks like. Let's see if there's anywhere else where we need to begin pushing forward. I think that we're good for now. So let's go ahead and end this turn. Now, I read quite a bit about the Peninsular War the other day online, just out of curiosity. It's definitely an interesting war. A mistake by Napoleon, to be sure. So for any of you who are in for some interesting reading, you should check that out. Here we have another battle, and I will probably show some of this on the battle map as well. Campaign map. What happened there is the computer actually quite successfully used against me what I always use against them, which is bum rushing a gigantic mob of what do you call it? Bum rushing a giant mob of um, armed citizenry. Because my army was so depleted, they just basically rushed my line with the armed citizenry, and while my men were busy fighting them, they were able to move in their militia units and cavalry and easily rout me. And I didn't really have much answer to their cavalry because my men were so few in their units that they couldn't form a square. Yep. So a lot of bad situations there. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and move those men out of harm's way. I don't know what's going to happen to my reinforcements there. I did lose my general in an attempt to save my men. So I do have Madrid right up here. I could go ahead and recruit. In this city, I'll go ahead and recruit some... oh man, I'll recruit some hussars. And then up here in the city, I will recruit some line infantry. And we'll see if we can move back in and take care of that rebel province once and for all. So let's see what was happening elsewhere. We have an army up here in this little city, and we need to go ahead and move them forward towards this French coastal city here. The French are going to have a harder time striking back against me. I don't want to say that it's impossible, but they're definitely going to have a hard time striking back against me because my armies are on the move now, and their forces are going to have a harder time, I guess, finding a good avenue and having enough men to actually make a difference. I do want to make sure that I put my building on auto-manage. Good, it already is. Because I'm just going to be managing my armies for the most part. So we've successfully captured another province there. Let's head back north and see where our armies are. Here's my army here. Let's see... This army's a little bit beat up, but not too bad. Looks like the French are going to have no resistance here as well. So there we've peacefully occupied another couple of cities. And in each city I'm going to quickly recruit some militia to just simply hold the line. And here it's not going to let me recruit any militia. Not sure why, but we may have to wait till the next turn. Alright, our troops are well on the move there. Let's see, back here I should have some troops training. I do, excellent. And I have a small army there, and I'll use that to move forward once those troops are finished training. I do have some guerrilla troops here behind my lines. That's not good. So I might ought to consider putting a little bit of defense here in that city, because I'm imagining the guerrillas are going to try and get it from behind my back. This is kind of the annoying part, is once you get the provinces under your control without the rebellions, it's really not that difficult. But since you have to conquer so much territory and so fast, the people tend to rebel a lot, which is an annoying but, you know, somewhat realistic feature that people faced in war. And here, you know, they're coming to attack me, and there's absolutely nothing my militia can do about their cavalry. I wish that, as you know, the rebels are able to get free cavalry, I wish that I could get some free cavalry once in a while. So now the rebels have taken another province, so it's really starting to get on my nerves. I'm going to have to take this army up here and move against the rebels. So I will recruit, again, some militia, which don't always save you, as you can see, and I will push back against the rebels and retake Castilla la Vieja province again. And then I will focus once again on the French up in the north. In fact, instead of recruiting militia up here, I'm just going to recruit some real troops. That way, if the French do come, I'll actually have something that could possibly make a stand. Basically, at this point, the French are using a lot of their diplomats and other stuff to cause problems across my territories. So here they have a lot of armed mob. I will go ahead and show this battle, and I will see you on the battle map.